Good morning, everyone. With our presentation today, we will focus on the challenges and opportunities for social and emotional capacity building in educational context, and the work will be based on the activities done within an Erasmus Plus project named PSsmile. We will briefly mention basic characteristics of the project, focus on the concept of social emotional capacity building and its relevance, to address then the main issues coming from our analysis of some European educational systems and some European projects. From this analysis, some suggestions for work will be provided, the contribution, namely, of the project. The partners involved in the project are 6, coming from 5 different countries, representing different areas in Europe, and the focus is on primary education. The project started last autumn and will end in 2022. The main aim of the project is to foster socio-emotional capacity development in primary education institutions, enrolling into the activities both parents and teachers with their own socio-emotional development, and children, that is, the whole community. Where are we now? We are currently working on methodological materials and first data collection. What we will show today is the outcome from our national analysis and the transnational report, which were carried out in the last 6 to 8 months. What is socio-emotional capacity building? From our analysis, the most representative model of socio-emotional competencies is the one developed by CASEL, the American Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning. In their work, which lasted for at least 20 years, they proposed a model involving 5 different components dealing with self and to social, and a 5th component focused on responsible decision making. As you see from the picture, each of these components is characterized by subcomponents and expressed in different life contexts. Why it's so relevant? Research studies and meta-analysis have underlined the relevance, the strict relationship between the development of socio-emotional competencies and academic success, first of all, both in terms of grades, higher engagement, and adjustment to the school life, the relationship with good mental health, and the limited risky behaviors shown by students, the limited emotional distress, but also the relationship between these competencies and positive development support, both in competencies and attitudes. So our main question at the beginning of the project was, how can we support the development of these competencies in children living in Europe now and facing all the challenges of current times and the unpredictable future challenges? We started from an analysis of what is currently done in the educational systems of the partner countries. And what clearly comes out is that there is a lot of investment in socio-emotional development in the countries, an investment from national ministries of education or health, an investment and a lot of different actions carried out by associations and research groups, both national and international. Additionally, it clearly comes out that there are diverse perspectives underlying these actions. In some countries, there's a dominant health perspective that is dealing with socio-emotional competencies of at-risk students, or a prevention perspectives there is strengthening the resources, the skills, the competencies to avoid future problems, but also an attention to inclusive education. There is the role of these competencies in promoting participation of children with diverse background or intra-individual characteristics. All positive aspects, some challenges. The main sources of challenges are the fact that some of these actions and programs are context specific, so characterized by limited transferability to other contexts. Additionally, they have different length, they focus differently on social or on emotional aspects. Not always they are formally recognized, and they are delivered by different professionals. A closer look to at least some of the most recent programs, you see some of them on the slide, reveals a series of strengths in the actions currently proposed. There is, for instance, a general attention to early intervention, to developing healthy relationship and developing a positive mindset or self-determination. The proposal of guidelines for evaluating skills in children, the development of training for teachers involved in these activities, and more specifically, the development of curricula for these activities. There's also an attention to inclusive education and to fostering prosociality. Where are the challenges? In our analysis, the challenges come from the fact that there's more attention to programs and curricula and less to building socio-emotional skills and competencies in those who propose the activity to children. That is, teachers and educators, first of all. Also, there is a limited attention to everyday life situation, to the life outside school, as well as a limited involvement of significant persons from different life contexts, for instance, family members. And also, what is striking and particularly important for us is the limited, if any, attention to future and how these competencies can support them in future construction and in dealing with future challenges. So from this analysis, we derived some proposals, both at the level of conceptual framework and at the level of choices in the activity, in constructing activities. As regards the conceptual framework, certainly the 4 basic domains already in the literature are relevant, both for the attention to self and to others, for the awareness and management. But as you see in the slide, in our view, these domains should be addressed taking the person at the core center, not the skills at the center of the activity. Additionally, decision-making is an overarching component in our view, which is important for all these domains, and both in addressing social and emotional competencies. And more particularly, what is mandatory for us, and you see this on the arrows on the left, is the attention to future, how these competencies can support future constructions of these children, of the adults in their community, how to put the attention to the future in the activities proposed. The other level of attention for us is based on the drivers that guide the activities proposed. In our view, and from our analysis, there are some drivers of innovation in the proposal of these activities and drivers providing more opportunities to children, especially taking into account current times. Some of these drivers are related to the basic choices, the conceptual framework adopted, the principles that guide the activities proposed to all these members of the community. For instance, they deal with a positive view, strengthening positive attitudes and skills, using a language enhancing strengths and uniqueness, paying attention to diversities, both in terms of vulnerabilities or different backgrounds, and these mandatory attention to the future. Some other drivers deal with the pedagogical strategies adopted. Given the attention to diversities, the needed relevant attention to diversities, these principles should also be used in the activities proposed, allowing participants to choose the different means of engagement, representation, and expression, and also in using different strategies, even in information technology. A third set of drivers deals with the community involvement, both in terms of meaningful adults involved in the activities and in the support to the development and the strengthening of these skills and competencies in teachers and parents. So these are the drivers of our work in addressing the next intellectual output in the project, which are, first of all, developing a training method for educators, but also developing an app for parents and teachers and e-training course. And we think that with these drivers in mind, we will be close to the goal that so clearly United Nations set when talking about sustainable development. There is supporting the development of emotionally resilient individuals able to navigate the complex landscape of their current life, conflicting goals, but also able to develop pro-social behaviors, promoting the flourishing of the community besides their own personal flourishing and future construction. And we believe that this is particularly relevant in so complex times we are currently living in. And thank you for your attention.